Michelle Reis didn't destroy Hong Kong's elite. They destroyed her, before she ever had the chance. The moment she won Miss Hong Kong, billionaires started circling, and their wives started plotting. A rumored 30 million Hong Kong dollar payoff. A smear campaign disguised as gossip. A leaked phone call that shattered a billionaire's marriage, and a dynasty that trapped her for life. Michelle never admitted anything. She never denied anything either. Because she understood the truth, Hong Kong doesn't fear homewreckers. It fears women powerful enough to threaten empires. And Michelle was the kind of woman they couldn't control. So they controlled the narrative instead. Miss Hong Kong Finals, August 1988. The TVB studio was thick with heat, camera lights, and the kind of tension that comes when millions of dollars are watching. Michelle stepped onto the stage in a shimmering gown, her mixed Portuguese-Chinese features catching the light, and every married billionaire in the VIP section leaned forward. In the judges section, pens stopped moving mid-sentence. Up in the VIP balcony, where Hong Kong's tycoons watched from behind tinted glass, men forgot their wives were sitting right beside them. This wasn't just another beauty queen. This was the kind of woman who could rewrite bank accounts with a single smile. She won the crown at 18 years old. Also took Miss Chinese International. Double threat. But here's what happened in the next 24 hours that nobody talks about. Michelle's phone started ringing at 6 a.m. Not from modeling agencies, from private numbers that didn't appear in any directory. Men whose names were carved into Hong Kong's skyline wanted private meetings. Invitations arrived to restaurants that didn't take reservations. Gifts appeared at her door with notes that said nothing but promised everything. And in the exclusive social clubs of Central, where old money wives wore jewelry worth more than most people's homes, impromptu luncheons were already being arranged. Because Hong Kong's billionaire wives recognized the threat immediately. At the Hong Kong club that afternoon, the same whispers floated from table to table. Did you see how the men looked at her? She knows exactly what she's doing. We need to handle this before it becomes a problem. Michelle was still celebrating her victory, posing for magazine covers, believing her life had just begun. She had no idea that Hong Kong's most powerful women had already decided it was over. The attack began weeks after the pageant with a phone call to the entertainment desk of a major Hong Kong tabloid. The voice was female, well-educated, speaking English with the crisp accent of Hong Kong's elite. Not from a random tip line, from a number the editor recognized. Someone who had called before with stories the elite wanted out there. 30 million Hong Kong dollars. That's what a married billionaire had allegedly paid the new Miss Hong Kong. For what? The caller wouldn't say. Who? She wouldn't reveal. But the figure was specific enough to sound real. The editor knew better than to ask too many questions when stories came from the right circles. By that evening, the rumor was in print. Michelle first heard about it while getting her hair done at a salon in Central. The stylist, who usually chattered non-stop about celebrities, had gone unusually quiet. Other clients were whispering, stealing glances at her through the mirrors. Finally, one woman leaned over and whispered, "Have you seen today's entertainment pages?" Michelle took the newspaper the stylist handed her. Half a page in, she saw it. A blind item. No names mentioned. No proof provided. Just a number big enough to destroy a reputation. 30 million Hong Kong dollars. Her stomach dropped. She called her manager immediately, a veteran of Hong Kong's entertainment industry. He listened, sighed, and gave her the advice that would haunt her for decades. Deny it, and people will think it's true. Stay silent, and it might blow over. Michelle hung up, staring at her reflection. She chose silence, which was exactly what they were counting on. Because in Hong Kong's elite circles, silence isn't mystery, it's confession. Within days, the rumor had spread through every private club, charity board, and society dinner in the city. Each retelling added new details. Each whisper made the story more elaborate. Each day of Michelle's silence made it feel more confirmed. At fashion events, photographers started asking different questions. At business dinners, men began treating her with a mixture of desire and calculation. At charity galas, society wives watched her every move. Michelle was learning Hong Kong's cruelest lesson. You don't need to be guilty to be convicted. You just need to be inconvenient. If the 30 million Hong Kong dollar rumor was the setup, Joseph Lau was the explosion. Joseph didn't just collect rare art and vintage wine. He collected women who made other billionaires jealous. And when he set his sights on Michelle in the late 1990s at a charity event, it wasn't romance. It was gasoline poured onto a fire that had already been lit around her name. The pursuit was immediate and public. Within weeks, photographers caught Michelle stepping out of his midnight blue Rolls-Royce, her hand up, shielding her eyes from the flashbulbs. This was no secret rendezvous. This was spectacle. Joseph loved being seen. The tabloids loved photographing him, and Michelle became the perfect centerpiece for Hong Kong's favorite kind of scandal. Tabloids documented gifts that arrived at her apartment: jewelry from Cartier, handbags from Hermes, flowers that cost more than most people's monthly salary. Joseph already had a wife, Teresa Beau. She'd survived years of public humiliation, watching her husband parade other women through Hong Kong's social scene like trophies. But Michelle was different. She wasn't just another mistress to be hidden away. She was the woman the entire city was already talking about. Teresa had endured the others in private, but watching her husband flaunt the alleged 30 million Hong Kong dollars woman was unbearable. And that's when Hong Kong's elite wives made their move. The phone call was recorded on a Tuesday evening. Teresa's voice, sharp, hurt, years of humiliation finally spilling out, saying things that tabloid editors would replay for months. Accusations, rage, personal venom that turned a private marriage into public spectacle. But the leak didn't happen by chance. Within hours, 3 different media outlets received the same tape. Not from paparazzi, not from a random tip line, from the same social circles that had fed the earlier rumors about Michelle. The call spread through Hong Kong like wildfire. Michelle never responded. She couldn't. Because by then she understood the darker truth. When the right people in Hong Kong decide a story should explode, it explodes. The relationship with Joseph ended within weeks, but the damage didn't. Her reputation was scorched into the city's memory, permanently and unfairly. She was no longer the woman who might threaten marriages. She was the woman who definitely destroyed them. After Joseph Lau, Michelle didn't vanish. She simply stepped out of Hong Kong's scandal machine. No paparazzi chasing her down Garden Road. No gossip blinds naming her in coded insinuations. No billionaires trying to be seen with her. For the first time in years, she kept her life quiet, intentionally quiet. And in Hong Kong, silence is never neutral. Silence is strategy, or surrender. Most people assumed it was the latter, but by the late 1990s, a new name began appearing beside hers. Julian Hui, a completely different kind of man, and from a completely different kind of power. Julian wasn't reckless like Joseph. He wasn't interested in public displays, scandal, or ego. He was quiet, polished, calculated. And his family? Old money, the kind of dynasty that had survived everything Hong Kong had ever been through. British colonial rule, the war years, and the moment in 1997 when China took Hong Kong back. The Hui family had survived every political era because they treated reputation like a religion. Everything was controlled: marriages, business alliances, public appearances, and who was allowed into the family. Julian himself had already lived through one of those alliances. He had been married to Pansy Ho, daughter of Macau's casino king, Stanley Ho. It wasn't a love story. It was a merger. Bloodline marrying bloodline. a union that kept empires stable, not hearts happy. So when Michelle appeared on Julian's arm at a charity gala around 1999, Hong Kong's elite held their breath. They recognized the pattern instantly. Beautiful woman, powerful man, potential chaos. But this time, the billionaire wives didn't need to destroy Michelle. She had already been scorched. Her reputation was pre-weakened, pre-contained. What they needed now was something else, a cage. As the Hui family began preparing its succession plans in the early 2000s, they acted with surgical precision. Instead of leaving behind simple wills or passing assets directly from parent to child, the Hui family built something far more sophisticated. They created trust structures, carefully layered, legally airtight, designed to keep power inside the bloodline, to lock the family's wealth where outsiders could never touch it, and to make sure that no matter who Julian married, no wife would ever gain real influence over the empire. When the family lawyer explained it to Michelle, in the Hui mansion's drawing room, surrounded by floor-to-ceiling portraits of ancestors, his tone was polite, but unmistakably firm. This protects everyone's interests. Reports later claimed Michelle and Julian would receive 2 million Hong Kong dollars monthly, managed through these structures. To most people, it would be unimaginable wealth. To old money, it was something else entirely. A golden leash. Michelle understood the offer. You may enter the dynasty. You may live its life. You may raise its heir. But you will never control the empire. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was a beautifully furnished cage. And she accepted it because she had no choice. Michelle married Julian in 2008. Their son was born in 2011. From the outside, her life looked perfect. A devoted husband who adored her. A child she could raise in luxury. A penthouse overlooking Victoria Harbor where she could finally breathe. But inside Hong Kong's elite circles, the past never dies. It just waits. Every charity gala she attended, the whispers followed her like shadows. Not about what she might do now, about what they believed she had done then. At the annual Red Cross Ball, Michelle would glide through the crowd in designer gowns, her smile perfect, her posture flawless, but she could feel the conversations pause as she passed. Remember the 30 million Hong Kong dollars? Remember Joseph Lau's wife? The younger wives didn't see her as competition anymore. They saw her as a cautionary tale. The older wives didn't fear her beauty now. They feared what her presence represented. A reminder that their system wasn't perfect. That sometimes the women they try to destroy survive anyway. But the surveillance wasn't cameras and bodyguards. It was quieter, meaner. A reporter calling to fact-check some old rumor. A society wife accidentally mentioning her name to a gossip columnist. A photographer appearing outside a charity luncheon she wasn't even scheduled to attend. Not constant, not coordinated, just enough to remind her that the old machine still had eyes. Michelle learned to move through this world with precision. Every gesture measured, every smile controlled, every public appearance executed like a military operation. Because she knew one misinterpreted moment, one careless expression, would drag the old stories back from the dead. She wasn't protecting a reputation. She was protecting her right to exist without being retried for crimes she never proved she committed. 2020s. Social media changes everything. Michelle's story, buried for decades in fading gossip columns, suddenly found new life on TikTok. Young users discovered old photos of her with Joseph Lau, posting them with captions like Hong Kong's original influencer scandal. Instagram accounts created side-by-side comparisons of her then and now. YouTube videos dissected the 30 million Hong Kong dollar rumor with the skepticism of a generation raised on conspiracy theories. But something different happened this time. In comment sections across platforms, a new generation started asking questions the media never asked. Where's the actual evidence? Who planted these stories? Why did everyone just believe anonymous sources? This sounds like a coordinated hit job. Notice how all the proof came from the same circles? The real story is who wanted her destroyed. For the first time in decades, people were connecting the dots. Not about Michelle's guilt, about the system that had convicted her without proof. Michelle watched this digital resurrection from her penthouse, scrolling through posts that dissected her life with forensic precision. She could speak now. She could finally tell her side. She could expose the circles that had destroyed her. But as she sat there, looking out at Hong Kong's glittering skyline, she made the same choice she'd made for 30 years. Silence. Because the billionaire wives who had orchestrated her downfall were mostly gone. But their playbook was still being used, still targeting new threats, still protecting the same families. Michelle set her phone aside and stepped toward her floor-to-ceiling windows. Hong Kong glowed beneath her, a city built on money, power, and stories told by the people who owned both. In the reflection, she saw the woman she'd become. Elegant, controlled, unbreakable, and completely alone with the truth. They had tried to destroy her before she could destroy them. Instead, they created something far more dangerous. A woman who knew exactly how their system worked and survived it. She pressed her hand against the cold glass. The machine that shattered her youth still runs. But she's the one who lived long enough to see it exposed. And in Hong Kong, that is the closest thing to justice she will ever get. But if you think Hong Kong's elite conspiracy was sophisticated, wait until you see the woman who tried to manipulate China's entire government and the political earthquake that followed when she got caught. Gu Kailai thought she was untouchable. She was wrong. And if you want to see how these power networks really operate, hit that subscribe button. We expose the hidden machines that control Asia's elite every week. That investigation is live on the channel now. Click here to watch how one woman's greed nearly brought down the Communist Party itself.